welcome to my new channel. It is called Bella's Adventures in the Kitchen. Thank you for joining me today on this adventure. So, today we are making chiffon cake. I don't know why it's called that. Chiffon is like a material, I thought. It's Japanese. It's a Japanese cake, so maybe that's why it's called chiffon cake. I don't know. Anyway, that's what we're making. It's like sponge cake. I never had it before. I never made it before. And also never seen it before in person. So, let's look at all the things we need to make this chiffon cake. Okay, so we need 6 eggs. I will not pick those up. They will break. You need 50 milliliters of some nice vegetable oil. Yes. You need 80 grams of sugar. This is some nice sugar from ShopRite. Pick it up at your local grocery store. I'm not sponsored by ShopRite, I just like the name. Some flour, 80 grams of flour, also from ShopRite. They match, so cute. I think 50 milliliters of milk, 80 milliliters of milk, that would have been a problem. This stuff. And that's the ingredients. Oh, you need some salt. You need like a few 1/4 of a tablespoon of salt. I'll get it later. Then also you need this little boy. It's a weigher. I'm just gonna. The balance. It's a scale. It's a scale. It's a scale for food. It's like the one that I use in chemistry lab. So that's what we're gonna do. We're also using the metric system today. That's incredible. I've never done that before, and I think that it's magical because I love the metric system. So much more effective, by the way. Just saying that, America. All right, so you need 2 bowls. This one will be for the egg yolks, and this one will be for the egg whites. There's 2 different mixtures that have to happen in this recipe for it to be nice and fluffy. So just make sure that you have 2 bowls of 2 different sizes. Then some measuring cups, of course. A liquid measuring cup. These boys for measuring the salt. Measuring spoons, yes. A sifter. This is the biggest sifter I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never experienced anything like it. And so, your first step is going to be to separate the egg yolks from the egg whites. Wow, that was smooth. Did you see that? You caught that? That was really smooth. All right, so the problem is I haven't done this in a very long time, so we'll see if it works still. But I'm going to separate them out. I'm going to put the whites in this bowl first because I don't want to waste a bunch of whites in this bowl if I do mess up and get the yolk in there. You'll see what I mean in a second. So this big bowl will be used for the egg whites, and this small bowl is going to be used for the egg yolks. You'll see why later. Just make sure that you have a bigger bowl for the egg whites. So first what you do is you just take your egg and I'm gonna do that. You just crack it a little bit, gently, break it like this, and then make sure that the white all comes out, all the whites coming out, all the whites coming out, and not the yolk. And just kind of bounce it back and forth until it's all out. You really don't want any egg yolk at all in this part of it. So then you just take the yolk that's left over and plop it right in there. Boop. Put your dead egg shell in here, and then I'm gonna throw this egg white in this big bowl. Right there. I'm gonna do it again. We will be measuring sugar to put in them. So we will be putting 40 grams of sugar in this one and 40 grams of sugar in this one. So I'm gonna scoot these over here really quickly and get my little measuring boy, the electricity. I don't know what model it is, just that's what it is. So you turn it on. All right. So now we're going to be measuring the sugar for the egg whites, and we're using a different cup because we need to save the big cup for flour. And when you are measuring for the egg whites, you make sure that you still get 40 grams, but there is 3 points of access when you put the sugar into the egg white mixture. You put it in 3 separate times. You still only use 40 grams, but you have to add it in slowly. I will explain that when we get to it, if I remember. So, get some flour, which is a much different consistency than sugar. Don't mix the 2 up. They're not interchangeable, ever. Okay. $1.49. $80, perfect, amazing. Here you have it, folks. It takes a while. Got it. And then find an outlet. How convenient, there's an outlet right here. Okay. So what you do here is you beat them until they get bubbly, and then you beat them even more until they're like this white looking thing. We'll show it. And so you initially add sugar, a little bit to the egg whites, just 1/3 of it, so just eyeball it, so not too much, just a little. And then you mix it for however long it takes to mix egg whites. At high speed! High speed! Bubbly, so you add a little bit more sugar. You shouldn't stop the mixing, but I had to because I can't talk. And now that your egg whites are this nice frothy white stuff, the sugar should be able to sit on top of it, like Rain said. Ah yes, how beautiful. Boop. And you mix the rest of the sugar in. So make sure that you don't stop mixing until the little white peaks that you make when you lift up your things can stand up by themselves. So right now they can't. So now you can see that the egg whites are standing by themselves. When you pull out the beater, they just make little peaks and they stay alone. So then you know that your little mixture is done and ready to be used for some other things. Right now we have 6 egg yolks and 40 grams of sugar, and we are going to be putting in some milk. 80 milliliters of milk. Yes. So just look for your milliliters on your cup. There are milliliters on this cup. 80. Oil also will be going into this, and we are using 50 milliliters of oil. Normally, you can't really do this, but I guess you can in this case. We're going to put it right into the milk because 80 plus 50 is 130. So we know where the 150 mark is. We're just going to put it a little bit lower than that. So there's 125. There. Yep. And then this just goes right into the eggs and sugar. Boop. Yummy. Now we will beat this just until it's all mixed nicely together.
And with salt.
And there will be salt in this also. And wow, magic. Salt. It just came out of the air. Sometimes that happens to me, and I am so grateful for it. Don't worry about that. Now we will be adding the flour to this mixture. Be sure that you use a sifting mechanism to do so. I'm going to move these over to here for a second. Disgusting. So what you do is you just get this and you get that like that. And then you just kind of gently pat it so it looks like snow falling over a lake. Okay, so what you do is you do not use your mixer for this part, is you take your spatula and you fold gently. Folding is a very important skill in baking. You just kind of gently go under and over until it's all mixed in. This is a very cool consistency. I rather like it. Pretty satisfying to mix. After you have finished mixing your egg and flour mixture, the next step is probably one of the most important in this whole process. You have to be very, very careful. What you do is you take the same spatula, take like a dollop of this mixture of egg whites and sugar, and you very carefully and slowly just take a piece of it out, like this much, and just kind of plop it in here. Now, scoop this one aside, and you need to fold this so very gently so that you don't disturb the fluff. And you start from the bottom, and you go up, and you fold it. And you continue folding. And the next step is to take your OG fluffy white stuff, and you're gonna pour this into that mixture, into the little divot that you made from taking out the part of this that you put in here. So just carefully and slowly pour into the little divot. It'll go over, but it's fine. It's a little chunky. It's fine. Make sure you get all of it. Do not waste any. Want to have an even amount of ingredients. And yeah. So that's how that works. Okay. Cool. Now, another very important step. Make sure that you fold this as well. So, starting from the bottom and come up and just toss it. That was bad. Just do this and just boop. Bottom up, boop. Bottom up, boop. And just continue to do that until the mixture is completely homogenized. Just happy food dance I'm eating. Make sure that you have your pan securely clipped, that's not falling apart, and it's not right now. Shake it, give it a good thwack, make sure it's good. And then you will slowly pour this mixture into the pan. If you have a pan that's not non-stick, make sure you put non-stick spray on it, but this is a non-stick pan, so it doesn't really matter. So just gently and carefully pour your mixture into the pan, like so. Sure to get all of the cake batter off the edges. Once you've finished pouring out, you need to get all the air bubbles out. So to do that, you just bang it on the table gently, not too hard as to destroy the fluff, but you kind of shake it a little bit to let them come to the top. Then you just do this, make sure they pop, and shake it again a little bit. You get all the bubbles to come to the top. You'll be able to see them forming, and then you pop them again. Just want no air bubbles because then it bakes weird. We don't want it to bake weird. You do this with most cakes or brownies or anything, really. And you should be good. What if I just drop this open oven?
It'll be bad.
That would suck. Okay, so we have now taken this wonderful piece of art out of the oven and we're gonna put it on this plate. So you first need to make sure that you don't burn yourself, so do that. Get a knife and just go around the sides, cutting off the sides gently, just so it doesn't stick and crack when you open up the non-stick pan, like that. Then put this plate on top of it, like that, and then just flip it gently, like that. A cake, a perfect chiffon cake. It's really hot. We will now try the chiffon cake. Gabe! We will now have our first taste tester come and try the chiffon cake. Please welcome my brother Gabriel. Welcome to the show, Gabe. The crowd goes wild. Please have a seat as you try this cake. No one has tried it yet. You are the first. Ooh, beautiful. Tastes like ice.
It does.
It's also very yellow.